everyone. This is the beginning of what's going to be a stash busting challenge. When I finished the Bella Boulevard Bow Wow layout, I kind of forced myself to go ahead and work that paper collection into my pup paper iris case. And so of course, to do that, and also to collate the Simple Stories fur baby into that, I needed to go through everything and decide if it was really a keeper. So what I did was I pulled several papers that it's, you know, time to use it or lose it. These are not really great papers in and of themselves, but if I could make something with them, you know, I'm going to try that. And I have other collections that maybe I can pair this with. Look at this old Karen Foster. Now these graphics are really dated and I'm probably not going to use them. What I found in the bottom of the iris case were supplies that I used to tell stories about my Yorkie, and he's been over the Rainbow Bridge, man, for a long time. Maybe, gosh, I want to say since 2006. And look, this is some Chatterbox, and these are all supplies I used for his album. And, you know, a lot of orange, a lot of orange. I have been working on 2021 photos, and I actually have on my to-do list layouts about Truman and Sophie together. When we brought Sophie home, Truman was a Westie, and he was like, "What is this little thing?" But then it was cute to see how he grew to accept her, and he would even try and play with her. Now, mind you, a Frenchie puppy is very energetic. So, and he was, I think, 8 at the time. So he ultimately was diagnosed when she was 1 with bone cancer, and we had to take him to the Rainbow Bridge. So there are some cute photos though of them together. I did, when we found out his cancer diagnosis, I did work on layouts of him, but I didn't work on ones of them together. I didn't even remember Bo Bunny made a dog line. I don't know if you have any of this in your stash. I don't know. I don't know if any of this, if I would use it, but it's time to do something with it or send it on to someone else. That goes like that. That's not bad. But you know, what I was saying when I was working with the Bow Wow for Bella Boulevard is all of these collections are geared toward boy dogs. Look, orange. Oh, look, I've got 2 sheets of this, so I don't have to flip. Does your dog chase tennis balls? I've never had a dog that would chase a tennis ball. So some of these papers could come out and make a fun kit together. So I wanted to photograph them all together, and then the next phase of this stash busting video will be the actual page kit or kits that I pull together. So part 2 of the stash busting challenge on my dog supply iris case. So we've talked about how I needed to clean some things out, and so I've sorted all the papers, and these are the keepers. Now, I don't have any plans other than the fact that I think this can work. I reserve the right to change my mind, but you know, just some basic orange. This stripe is in 2 palettes, and or tints, you know, like aqua. So I'm keeping both of those because it can pair. Dog print, I don't know, I like this dog print better, but this brown is this brown, and this would just be maybe some filler paper. I don't know. And the tennis balls for color, and then 2 reds. And then these are really kind of my inspiration, because I could see me using one of these cards and then pulling in some of these papers to support these colors. This is too busy, but it has a really nice blue on the back that isn't found anywhere else. And then the back of this is another orange, because, you know, orange is for dogs. So my next step will be to find some pictures I actually want to work with, pull a sketch, and then cull these down. Oh, yeah, so that's the idea for the pictures about Truman and Sophie playing together for a year. And then I have another idea for a layout, and I don't know on this, but these papers seemed a little darker because of all the black. And I thought about scrapping Truman's Last Day with us with these, because I could see that working. And I just saved this. I mean, obviously it doesn't go with this. Maybe it should have been in the other pile, but I did decide to keep it. I don't want to use rainbow papers and I don't really want to scrap taking him to the vet. Gosh, I'm just going to keep going. But on his last day, I took him to do all of his favorite things, and we rode around in the car, and there's some really cute pictures of him. So I can see making a layout about him and his last day with this paper. And that might could work. This ledger paper, I was thinking, if I didn't use it for dogs, could I cover up the dogs and use it another way? Because distress ledger, yes please. And then I'll show you the papers that did not make the cut, and you probably won't be surprised. I'm working on a purge pile. I have a stack in my corner, and it is getting rough over there. So these are all papers that I decided I wouldn't use and didn't need to keep, and they can go to someone else. I'm part of an online scrapbook forum, and we post things for sale or trade, and the big pile in the corner is going to be going on there. Man, my goal is May, but it's probably not doable, so June. So these are the ones that I'm happy to release. I don't care for this. I don't like the feel of that graphic. So this is newer, but I don't know. Like I said, Truman is pretty well scrapped. My Yorkie's pretty well scrapped. I have some pictures of them together, but now, you know, I'm looking at girl and boy dogs, so everything's a little different. So I'm going to stop here, and the next phase will be pictures and page kits. Specific page kits, not just culled papers. I have been working on some papers that I purged from my Iris case pup paper. I shared at the beginning of the video the various cases I have that are specialty papers. I do that mainly just as a way to manage the volume. You know, like I've got everyday lines that are easily accessible, and then papers that I don't reach for frequently I put up in a little harder to reach spot. You know, I don't give them prime real estate. So here's my update. I had pulled these papers, and I have pulled together 2 kits, and I'm going to start with that, and let me get down to one pile here so maybe it's more visible. I'm holding on to this. I like the color palette. It's whimsical, and I think I could pull it off, even if you just cut some of this down and used it as a layering to tuck behind. Still kept this. I've got this in this kit. I I did keep some of this old orange chatterbox just for a pop of color in a different pattern because chevrons don't work with everything. And then I have these stripes. So this is a kit that I'm going to set to the side for some photos I have of Sophie and Truman playing together after we got Sophie. These are some cardstocks that were in that bin. I'm not saying I'm going to use them. I'm just not putting them away until I finish with the pattern paper. These papers, I've decided I'm probably not going to end up keeping them. I don't need 2 of this. I think this plaid is hard to work with. It's so big. If it were on a diagonal, I think it would help, but it just doesn't seem to work. Now, I mean, that's a cute little page right there if you wanted to do it, but I don't. I mean, I don't want to work with that. I've got other dog paper I love more. And then I just don't think I need 2 of these. So this is setting to the side to go out the door. I have a purge pile in the corner that's growing. And then that leaves me with this kit. And this is the paper that I had decided I could do Truman's last day. So I've got this. And I'm showing them to the side up that I'm going to use them. I do have a layout planned, and I'm going to work on that next. And I know I need 2 pieces of this, so I've got that pulled. I really like this paper. I wish I had more of it, but I have this little, less than 12-inch scrap, and I'm going to use that. And I've got this stripe pulled. I've got this yellow pulled. And that's my cardstock for my layout. I'm putting this in the kit because I could use these paw prints. Other than that, the paper is kind of whimsical. This I don't understand why the words go both ways. Like, why is that upside down? But anyway, I could fussy cut these for some bits and bobs if I wanted. And then there's this. So that is where I landed on the paper that I pulled. And this right here is what I'm going to create with first. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back soon with more layouts, videos, and a little stash busted magic. So please come back and crop with me. Until next time, happy scrapping, and remember, this is where paper meets story. Bye-bye.